My dear brothers and sisters in the risen Lord, ordinary season, week 33, day Thursday. There is only one way to bring peace to the heart, joy to the mind, and beauty to the life. It is to accept and do the will of God, said by Barclay. The weeping of Jesus over Jerusalem was a prophetic sign. Prophet Elisha wept when he foresaw the suffering of Israel under the reign of Hazael, king of Damascus. When Elisha was in Damascus, while the king Ben-Hadad was ill, the king sent Hazael to Elisha to inquire whether he would survive his illness. Hazael came before Elisha, and Elisha predicted that the king would die, but he began to weep. Hazael asked him why he was weeping. Elisha answered, "Because I know the evil that you will do the people of Israel. You will set their fortress on fire. You will kill their young men with the sword, dash in pieces their little one, and rip up their pregnant women." Later, Hazael killed his king and succeeded him. 2 Kings chapter 8, verse 7 to 15. In today's gospel, Jesus predicted the destruction of Jerusalem and wept over it. Let us note. First note, Jesus wept over Jerusalem. It is not recorded that Jesus ever loved, but at least thrice he is said to have wept. Once at the tomb of Lazarus he wept, John chapter 11 verse 35. Secondly, he wept during his agony in the Gethsemane. In the letter to the Hebrews, the author, referring to the agony of Jesus in the garden, said, "In the days of his flesh, Jesus offered prayers and supplication with loud cries and tears to the one who was able to save him from death." Chapter 5, verse 7. Finally, Jesus wept over Jerusalem. Luke chapter 19, verse 41. There are many people who share in our joys and merriment, but only a few share in our sorrows. Jesus, who was the man of sorrows, shared predominantly in our sorrows. Our pain was his pain, our loss his. He identified himself with our afflictions. Jesus wept over Jerusalem, not because he would be judged and condemned to deal in that city, but because that city would be annihilated. More than weeping for himself, Jesus wept for Jerusalem, the holy city. Second note, the destruction of Jerusalem. As Jesus came down from the Mount of Olives, he had the magnificent view of the city of Jerusalem and the temple. Behind all his beauty and majesty, Jesus saw its imminent ruin. The cause for Jerusalem's destruction was its ignorance of the way of peace which Christ preached. In rejecting Christ, Jerusalem had rejected his way to peace and thus its way to glory. In rejecting Christ, Jerusalem had invited destruction and ruin for itself. There are ways to enjoy peace in our lives. We must pursue the path of peace, look to the ways and means of achieving it, and embracing the methods by which we can benefit from it. Jerusalem was devastated and annihilated because it failed to follow Christ and the path of peace which Christ preached. We also follow Christ and the path of peace which Christ preached. May God bless you all. Amen.